Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Tuesday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Taking a look at a couple of marquee matchups in the college basketball ranks. Scott, pretty excited. We've got college basketball back up and running. You know, not many fans out there. Of course, the Maui Classic is being played in Connecticut. But other than that, everything's pretty normal. And we've got the Champions Classic here. Couple of blue bloods squaring off in each game. Scott, are you ready to get rolling?
Yeah, I feel like anytime you get to see two high-profile college basketball teams match up this early in the year, you really can't complain about it, especially now that there is no football game on TV tonight.
No,
So, yeah, you got more time for college basketball.
It's going to be Wednesday afternoon football, Scott. And you know why they scheduled it for Wednesday afternoon instead of Wednesday night?
No idea.
Well, because it would conflict on NBC with the lighting of the Christmas tree from Rockefeller Center.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
Congratulations, NFL. You've just taken a back seat to lighting the Christmas tree. Way to go.
There's nothing more exciting than lighting the Christmas tree 24 days in advance. Isn't that something?
Maybe seeing Baltimore missing 17 starters or whatever would be more exciting. But
I'm just happy I'm not paying that electric bill.
Oh man, good times. Have you ever gone to Do you skate? You ever gone to Rockefeller Center and skated at Christmas time?
I haven't skated at Christmas time, mostly because I don't celebrate Christmas. But I've been to the area.
You can't go skate for the holidays.
I've seen the tree before.
I bet Jews skate there. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible. I haven't been there. Skating has never been let's just say a strength of mine.
Yeah.
I can penguin walk it, so I'm not going to fall on my head. But I can't say that I'm going to be doing any triple axel or anything like that. So
never been on a pair of ice skates in my life, Scott.
Really?
Never, not once.
Is that because ice doesn't exist in Missouri?
No, there's a couple of rinks here. There's even a nice little outdoor rink that they have. Just never really something. By the time that was up, though, I was kind of out of my skating.
Is it because they don't serve barbecue on the ice rink?
Yes, that's the reason, Scott. Okay. There's no pulled pork on the rink.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big roller skater when I was a kid.
Nice. Like hockey stuff or just for fun?
No. Just like going to the rink on. I could skate backwards. That's about as good as I got. You know.
That sounds like such an '80s activity.
Oh no, dude. No, that was '70s.
'80s activity. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Let's stop staggering down memory lane here and take a look. First game on the board, Scott. It's the Kentucky Wildcats and the Kansas Jayhawks playing up there in Indianapolis before, I believe no fans are going to be in attendance for this one. Kentucky catching 3.5 from the Jayhawks. Tough game here, Scott, but I'm probably going to take a small lean towards Kentucky catching the 3 in the hook in this one.
Good news for you. It's 4 in the hook now.
Has it gone up?
It's gone up to 4.5.
I just looked at it. Oh, very good. All right, I'll take it. I'll take that extra half a point.
That's why you bring me here, because I can give you some quality line updates.
I literally looked at it 2 minutes ago, right before we came.
I see DraftKings actually has 5. So I'm going to shop around quickly, because, I prepared the lines last night, but of course they moved. But I see +5 for Kentucky on DraftKings if you want to take the dog.
I'm like a Chinese buffet, buddy. All you can eat right there. I'll take it. This really comes down to the Kentucky front court against the Kansas backcourt, where the Kansas has the advantage in the backcourt. Kentucky has a huge advantage in the front court. I'm gonna have to go with them, buddy. I like Sarr inside. I think Isaiah Jackson is going to be a hell of a player. I wouldn't be surprised to see KU get a small victory here, by a bucket or two, but I think the Wildcats are going to hang with them. I think this is going to be a tight game all the way through, maybe even decided on the last possession. I'll take the points with two pretty evenly matched teams here. What do you got?
So this is a perfect example of why you should always shop your lines, which we have preached on this channel for over a year.
Ever.
So yeah, you can get Kentucky at +5. I like Kansas, so I'm going to get them at -4 on Bet Online. At -113, so you can get a full point disparity if you shop around. So that's something to keep in mind, especially in college basketball. Kentucky, I'm not going to overreact to their loss against Richmond because, spoiler alert, I love this Richmond team, and you know all about that. So I'm not surprised Richmond won. It is worth mentioning Kentucky did out-rebound them by 23, and they still lost by double digits.
That's
even
impressive.
look. That's
That's
not
impressive.
exactly a good look for Kentucky. Main reason why this team can't shoot. I
Horrible.
know in the first game against Morehead State, which I don't even know if they should be D1. They shot 50-something% from the floor, but they have not been a good three-point shooting team for several years.
Yeah.
Against Richmond, 0 for 10. They went 0 for 10, and they also shot 20 of 33 from the foul line. So this team is really good inside the paint, mostly offensive rebounds, mostly layups, stuff like that. When it comes to actually forcing them to expand their range a little bit, they can't do it. And at the free throw line, this team leaves a ton of free points available, which is a very big concern. Kansas, on the other hand, has looked pretty sharp this season. They beat St. Joe's by 20 plus. They ended up losing to Gonzaga. No shame in that, because I think Gonzaga's just on another planet right now. Still scored 90. They kept the game close for about, I'd say, 35 minutes or so.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, about the last 7-8 minutes there, they just kind of fell apart.
But the point is, I was impressed by Kansas offensively. I thought they hung tough. This team's actually pretty good shooting. And I think that even though Kentucky should win on the boards once again, I think this is going to be a relatively similar script where I'm looking at what happened in the Richmond game, and the issue that you have with Kentucky is that this team, whenever they were not gifted layups, just simply cannot shoot well enough from the perimeter to keep the defense honest. I think that Kansas will funnel everyone to the middle. I think they'll force Kentucky to shoot over them. And as of right now, I don't think Kentucky can shoot over them because I've seen them shoot so far this season not very good. Meanwhile, Kansas is shooting over 71% from the foul line. They're shooting over 44% from three. This Kansas team can light it up, and what we've seen in basketball for the last couple of years, the greatest equalizer is the three-point line. So for me, I like Kansas because they have more experience. Kentucky's still young, and you know how Calipari's teams usually struggle for the first couple of months of the season. But I'm also just not impressed by Kentucky's three-point shooting because this team, with the youth and the inability to stretch the defense, I think is going to have some problems. So for me, I don't like laying numbers with Bill Self, but I'm going to do it because I do think this team overall is more experienced and better. And I think Kansas should win this game by about 6. So I'll go with
when you say KU is going to pack the middle, force Kentucky to shoot over, who are they going to pack the middle with exactly, Scott? Who's going to do that?
Good question.
Yeah.
Sleeper Mitchell Lightfoot, of course, who plays.
Yeah.
No, their big man, I guess, consists of McCormick, who is 6'10". So he does have some size in there. He's kind of by himself on an island. But I think Kansas loves to go small from what you've seen so far this season. McCormick will probably play either the center or the power forward, but I'd assume center. And they're just going to spread Kentucky out wide, try to force them to guard on the perimeter, kind of that kind of thing. So for me, they'll go small. I think McCormick can somewhat hold his own. I think he's going to get outmanned because Kentucky has numerous big men. But I do think McCormick is a pretty good option for a small 5 center, in my opinion.
I think McCormick gets in foul trouble early.
That's possible. I'm just saying.
All right, there you go. Well, it's always nice to have a nice disagreement. There's too many kumbaya moments with us, Scott. Sometimes we agree on a lot of things. So nice to have a little friction here to start the show.
But I know I give out leans. I'll officially play Kansas at -4 on Bet Online at -113.
And I'll take Kentucky +5.
So you can get 5 on DraftKings at -109.
Got a thought on the total?
I'll lean over.
I would lean under.
Okay, we're really disagreeing on everything here.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Okay.
But I've got a stronger feel about the side than I do the total. But I would, and it's tough to play unders with Kansas. But
I was gonna say I don't really want to be taking unders with Kansas games because so far this season their pace has kind of shot through the roof.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. But I think it's been more of a situational thing than it is a way that they really want to play. So we'll find out. Second game, Scott. I think you and I might be a little closer on this one. We got.
I hope we are. We can't really get much further away after the first one.
Michigan State taking on the Dukies. This line has pretty much remained static there at 3 points for Michigan State. Scott, tell me about this one. What do you got?
So for this one, you have seen a little bit of a drop. I know Duke opened up roughly -4, down to 3.5, even 3 in some spots. So shop around accordingly. I'm going to take Michigan State. They haven't played anybody. I'm aware of that. They beat Eastern Michigan and Notre Dame. Notre Dame has not been the same basketball program it's been, I'd say, 3-4 years ago. So that win might sound better on paper than it actually is. But Michigan State, this team overall, they're the number 8 team in the country for a reason. They ended up getting Hauser for the transfer. Some people might remember from Marquette, who's finally able to play. Michigan State so far this season's looked good. Of course, they lost a lot of pieces from last year's team. Cassius Winston, They lost Tillman. Those kind of guys. They did get back Langford, who was pretty much all of last season with a leg injury, so he's back. They also got Aaron Henry back, who was pretty solid last year.
Got Watts.
What?
They got Rocket Watts.
Yes, they got Watts back. This team has a lot of solid complementary pieces. The issue is I don't know if they really have a superstar. I don't know if they have a guy who you can just go to for 20-plus points a game. I don't think they have that. This team seems very, very more points by collection or points by committee type of team where they don't have a Cassius Winston who they can say, get me a bucket in a close game. This is what we need. They don't really have that, which is a bit concerning. But I do like the depth on this team, and I do think that this team has the ability, especially under Tom Izzo, to play very, very sound team basketball, which I think is very important for this team to be successful. Meanwhile, Duke is kind of the opposite, where they have a bunch of five-star recruits who don't really know each other, and they're kind of just throwing them out there, telling them, oh, figure out how to play basketball, and we'll work it out by March. And you saw that happen in the first game as they ended up being 36-point favorites, something like that, against Coppin State, and they won by 10. Coppin State, not exactly a powerhouse by any means. So Duke struggled in the opener. They have a lot of talent. And when I say talent, they have several guys. Duke might have the most talented, I'd say, 3 players on the court in this game if you just go by one-on-one talent. DJ Stewart, I think, is better than any player on Michigan State. Jalen Johnson is, I think, the best player on the court for Duke. Anytime, I know it's Coppin State, anytime you can walk into the opener, I don't care who you're playing, drop 19 and 19 with
19 and 19.
And no missed shots. Now, the issue there with Johnson is that he had 7 turnovers. So he's not exactly, he kind of forces the issue a little bit. But 19, 19, and 4 on 100% shooting, I think, speaks for itself. So he is going to give Michigan State some problems. I think Wendell Moore Jr. is also good. Matthew Hurt's also a good guard. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take Michigan State because I think this Duke team still needs a couple of, I'd say, months to build up some chemistry. Kind of like while I'm not a big fan of Kentucky in the spot in the game mentioned previously, I'm going to trust the team with more experience at this point because I think Duke laying this many points needs to put up a better performance than what they did against Coppin. I don't think they should be laying 3. I think this game should be closer to a -1 or a pick'em. So for that reason, I'll take Michigan State plus the points. But I am going to acknowledge that athletically, Duke is miles ahead of Michigan State in this matchup.
Well, they certainly are, at least on paper, with recruits, et cetera, et cetera. But, the problem with this Duke team, they don't have anybody that really runs the point well right now. They had 22 turnovers versus Coppin State. It wasn't just Johnson that turned the ball over.
I'm just saying, yeah, but I threw out 7 turnovers just to show that he wasn't flawless in that game. That was my only point.
Right. No, that's I'm when you play good, experienced, hard-nosed teams that are well coached, you look for who's got the better point guard, and I don't think there's even a question in this one. Duke is going to have to take much better care of the basketball. Yeah, later in the season, I totally agree with you. This is a completely different game as those guys start to gel. They figure out who's going to run the point and start to run it well. They didn't shoot well from the line against Coppin State. 22 turnovers, 4 for 10 from the line. Michigan State's got.
I'm sorry, by the way, timeout. How does Duke have that many good big men win the rebounding advantage by 19 and only attempt 10 free throws?
I wondered the same thing when you've got a guy banging in there.
You have a guy for 19 and 19. How do you only have 10 free throw attempts as a team?
Yeah, he should have 10 free throws by himself.
Yeah.
So apparently they were just in awe and just let him play. Just like, well, he's got the ball again. We're going to have to let him score.
I guess. I know 4 for 10 is terrible in its own right. But I'm more shocked by the actual quantity of free throws as a whole.
Totally agree. It's a team that's not drawing fouls. And I think that goes back to the point guard position is not getting the ball to the wings in advantageous positions.
I'll tell you another thing that's potentially concerning. Does it kind of bother you a little bit that Duke gave up 44 points to Coppin State's backcourt?
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's again, I think this Duke team has challenges at the guard position. So, we're gonna see what happens because
it wouldn't surprise me if Duke wins this game handily just because of how talented they are. But if you have to look at the number and talk about probability and what I think is going to happen, I think Michigan State is going to look a lot sharper than Duke. I think Duke is going to, don't get me wrong, they're going to look very, very talented. There's going to be a couple of possessions we're going to look at Johnson and go, how the hell is Michigan State supposed to guard him?
Sure.
But the main issue I have is the turnovers, and I think that the lack of proper chemistry and just the lack of experience is going to lead to a lot of very, very ugly possessions for the Blue Devils.
Well, and you never know what somebody that young is going to do as far as foul trouble goes either, against solid competition. So it's certainly a case where they could clip him a little bit by picking up a couple early fouls. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know what to think of the Michigan State team. I don't think Michigan State has that much of a ceiling, in my opinion. But as of right now, they're the much safer bet here based on experience and, stuff like that.
Agreed. I don't even hate them on the money line. If you want to take a sniff at plus 137,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at you there. I think that's a decent play as well. Thoughts on the total? Any thoughts at all?
The total, not really, honestly. I know I usually give out a lean of some sort. I really don't have anything. The main reason why is because I can't read much into what Duke did against Coppin and Michigan State. Don't get me wrong, they've played really well, but they have also played against nobody. So they put up 150 combined with Notre Dame. Duke put up 152 combined with Coppin. I guess I'd lean under, but I'm not really thrilled with it. But if you ask me right now if I had to give out a lean, I'd lean to the under, but I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. All right, very good. So you and I pretty much are completely agreement on that one and total disagreement on the Kansas Kentucky game. So
yep.
Little something for everybody there. And
all I know is that Kansas shooting 44% from three is very impressive to me because Kansas is a team that usually shoots well. They don't shoot this well. Most teams don't shoot this well. So that's something to keep in mind.
Well, we'll see what that looks like after tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
This is and Tom Izzo he's I think still an underrated coach at this point.
If you ignore all the off-the-court issues over the last couple of years, he's still a very, very tremendous, all-time great college basketball coach.
Well, he gets his team up to play good teams well. He's his last 41, they're 28-13 against the spread against teams that are 600 or better. So he's a coach that has his team ready to go. I think he's going to have them ready to go in this one.
I'm going to ask you a controversial opinion. I kind of want your thoughts on this. I know we're going to wrap up, but I'm curious. Do you think Coach K is an overrated coach? Just based on the fact that Duke really hasn't done anything since Tyus Jones and people were there.
Yeah, I mean
I know it's a hot take because of course the amount of wins he has and the fact that he's involved with the USA national team. But I'm really curious because people keep expecting Duke to do big things every year because it's Duke and they get the recruits. And I know that it's very tough to win with a bunch of freshmen without experience. They haven't even won the ACC in several years.
Yeah, I know. They've played some weirdly bad games at weird times. So, yeah, I don't know. That's hard to say that somebody with that stature is overrated.
I'm not cursing out Coach K. I'm just.
You could make that point that he should have had even more success with.
I think it's food for thought. I think it's food for thought. I'm not saying that he automatically put himself on automatic pilot, where he's not coaching as hard as he used to or anything like that. I'm just saying that in the one and done era which he has embraced, he has kind of failed miserably.
Well, so is Roy Williams.
I'm not denying that. So is Calipari.
Yeah, that's
I'm aware that combined, well, Roy Williams has a couple titles, but those are mostly with some veteran ladle teams with Joel Berry and Bryce Johnson, those kind of guys.
Correct.
I'm not throwing it out there saying that I think Calipari and Roy Williams done a better job. I'm just saying that it seems like the one and done era has been promoted so heavily over the last couple of years, and it seems like they really never win.
No, they really haven't. You saw what Texas Tech was able to do a couple of years back with a veteran squad.
Even Virginia, who won. Technically, Virginia's still the defending champions. They had a bunch of veteran experience that year.
Right. It seems to be if you want to pick up a lot of wins in conference and get a lot of publicity, one and done's great. But once it comes to the rubber meets the road,
I can't even say that about Duke because Virginia keeps winning the conference.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not trying to insult Duke fans about Coach K. I'm just throwing it out there that your team has a lot of reputation-based stuff going on with them, and they really haven't delivered over the last, I don't even know, 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's a good question. We got to throw it out to the to our watchers, to our
viewers. You're way ahead of North Carolina, and I'm a North Carolina fan, so I can admit that because Roy Williams has kind of seen the program fall apart a little bit over the last couple of years. But he's throwing it out there. Duke has underachieved the last 5 years or so, and it seems like nobody fully acknowledges it.
Well, let's hear what you guys think. Drop us a note in the comments section.
You agree?
Yeah. Whether Coach K is overrated or not, at least for the last few years here.
You agree with my point? I know it's a controversial one, but
it's certainly something.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying people expect greatness out of his teams, and they just haven't delivered.
They haven't had greatness lately. They've when was the last time they made a Final Four?
They made the Elite Eight with Grayson Allen, and they lost to Kansas. I don't think they've made a Final Four since that championship team. I think
that's what I was. That's what I was thinking because I remember that Elite Eight game, and that's been as far as they went. So
they lost in overtime in that, I think. But
yep.
yeah, I can't remember.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys think. And yeah, I always like to hear come out with a good question like that and see what we'll see what the public thinks as well. So we'll see how hot of a take that is, Scott. And as always, let us know what you're on tonight, guys. Whatever you're playing, drop in the comment section and tell us what we've missed. We got Mississippi Valley State going tonight, Scott. You excited about that?
Nothing more exciting than seeing an online college have a basketball team with a home court. Isn't that something? Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, buddy. It's like watching the University of Phoenix play.
Tell you what, though, Grand Canyon, they usually have an underrated amount of transfers. Truth is, I haven't done any research on that game because when I was doing my play day video, the line wasn't up yet. I will be looking into it, of course, because Mississippi Valley State, I mean, they're sending my entire family through college at this point if they keep playing the way that they're currently playing. Them and UMass just going to send everyone.
Very good to us so far this year. So,
yep.
All right, there you go, guys. That's a show for today. As always, a lot of games on the card. If you want to get an opinion of some mighty fine cappers over there, some of these smaller schools, Winners and Winers is the spot to check out. Make sure you go over there and check us out. Deep dives into every game every single day. Sure, everybody's got something on Kentucky and Kansas. You're gonna find a lot of those. But if you want to find out about Hampton and George Washington, maybe a little North Carolina A&T and Charleston Southern is more your style. Winners and Winers, that's the place to check it out. All right, so make sure you do that. And yeah, we wish you good luck on all of your plays today. A lot of college basketball action out there. So whatever it is, hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back of the window. For today, for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwiners.com, we appreciate you stopping by. Have a great day. Come back and see us tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.